Hey, welcome back. So, I heard that you need to progress your Tears of the Kingdom progress or gameplay, and you've been lost after landing in Hyrule itself, which is this place. So basically, to start things off, I'm sorry. This is your main quest objective. If you press L or R, you can see in the adventure log that it leads you to that location directly, which isn't that far if you look at your map. So let's head there immediately. I do recommend heading there as soon as possible. There is a trick to a lot of things in Hyrule. If you feel like you don't know what you're doing, I do recommend going for the main quests or doing a bit of side quests to get yourself organized. If you don't know where you're supposed to be heading, you can always check your map. Now, we are going to be heading there because there are a lot of things that we need to do. First, we need to get the Paraglider. And then we also need to reveal the whole map. Now, as you're heading there, you might see a couple of new enemies in the fields. Like, you can see that there are these bokoblins that have our bows and are celebrating in some way, but steer clear of them for now. They are colored in that they are in a group. With your 4 hearts, you should be able to take them down, but you have to be extra cautious. Okay, let's continue. During your travels across Hyrule, you may stumble upon a Blupee, like this one. That's actually a Blupee. If you get too close, they will frantically hop away as fast as possible. But if you hit them or shoot them down, don't worry, they're invincible. They give you rupees. However, the most important thing to note is that they will basically drop. They basically means that they have a cave nearby. So if you see a Blupee around the area, that means there is a cave nearby. So your cave should be somewhere around here. There it is. They immediately, if you chase them down, they immediately try to head towards that, and then you can shoot them down as possible. Now, I'd like to visit this cave, but we should steer clear because we have a main objective. Alright, so now that we are here, we are gonna be skipping that. That's up to you to discover and explore. But do read all of it as much as possible. It is required or highly suggested to read all of it as much as you can. Please. It's gonna contain a lot of story-rich narrative and backgrounds to what happened to Link if you haven't played Breath of the Wild, which I also recommend. Head to the upper levels over here. I am going to be skipping the cutscene as it may contain spoilers, so... Alright, so the main quest is now complete. We are now in Hyrule, but we have a new objective, Crisis at Hyrule. And now, if you're gonna ask me, are we supposed to be doing that one too? Well, yes, because there's nothing else. So, we're not gonna go and waste time. Let's head there immediately. It is a personal request from Pura herself. And just take note that whatever you have right now is pretty essential to what you're gonna be encountering. So, I will see you there. Alright, so just as another tip, I think I didn't mention this in my Great Sky Island tutorial, but if you find shrines like these, even if you don't activate them, they will appear in your map. Activating them and solving them basically lets you teleport to them, if possible. Oh, sorry. No, I mean, it lets you teleport to them, not if possible. So this is also a combat training shrine. Shouldn't be that long. And the shrine itself will tell you what you need to do and what you can do. It is imperative that you try this out to expand upon your combat knowledge and facing enemies. Please take a close look at the enemies that you are fighting, as well as they can discriminate between how powerful they are, because there are a lot of variants of them across the Hyrule, and they can be quite misleading, that you can think that they're the same enemies and they're pretty weak, because if you come unprepared, you will basically be killed immediately, especially with low amount of HP. And even if you have high amounts of HP, being the power, like the powerhouse they are and how they're meant to be placed along the world, it can be pretty difficult to like survive fighting them. In my playthrough with both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, with fully upgraded gear, these enemies are still really dangerous. So be careful. So, like I mentioned before, ZL to targets, and if you're targeting the enemy, left analog stick will allow you to strafe. Again, you can adjust that with the camera using right analog stick, and then Y or X to jump, sorry. And we also have bonus gears here if you like. Rusty Shield is pretty good. So this construct is, I think, is blue? Sorry. And it can shoot a bow alongside with attacking. So this is gonna happen like I mentioned in the tutorial. This is the Flurry Rush. And not only did it broke my weapon, but there is also a, you know, a very impressive combo there that lets you take out the enemy as fast as possible. There's also a backflip, but it's the same feature. Just re-equip. You have to be very fast. And it doesn't matter if you're not holding a shield. If you lock on and you're holding a two-hand weapon, it will just be a two-hand like combat, but you can still dodge. You can't parry or block if you're using a two-hand weapon. There you go. And then pressing Y will allow you to Flurry Rush. There you go. You can repel an attack if you pair with your shield at just the right time. Strike back with the opening you create. Now, even with Dark Souls experience, parrying is really not my strong suit. The timing of every single enemy out there, you know, my brain is not that young anymore. Alright, you need to hold a shield and you need to... That was a bit too early, but yeah. Build up your power and then release it to unleash a charge attack. Catch your enemies in this motion. Before I proceed, what I did there is basically, if you have a two-hand weapon, you can sheath your two-hand weapon, whatever it is, whether it's a spear or a two-handed sword. You can put out your shield, but that can be potentially dangerous as you can just be blocking. And by mistake, you can leave yourself open if you suddenly attack, because you can attack with your shield up, and that will still be a problem. Like, you can still miscalculate things and thinking that you have a shield, and then you'll you know, get confused with controls, because that's what happened to me. All right, so now with the charge, as you see, and I did mention this before in my tutorial with the charges and everything. So just look it up over there. There is a timestamp for that. But I highly recommend getting this one. If you have this shrine completed, the rest of the shrines will, you know, complete itself. Can't carry any more of those. I would like to drop one, please. Thank you. Alright. It is recommended to make adjustments with your gear if you feel like your gear is too weak. Just swap out anything that you feel like is about to break or is about to, you know, be destroyed. Okay. Do not forget to fuse your weapons and gears and armors if you like. Sorry, your shields if you like. It is essential that you get the most out of fighting strong enemies along the way. Alright, so that's our first ever shrine, light blessing in Hyrule, and that's where we're supposed to be going. If their text boxes or chat bubbles doesn't have any exclamation point, that means that they don't have any quest line to give to you. Or side quests. So you can make small conversations with them and get their opinions on what they think is happening. But nonetheless, it's it just adds up to like what they think. Alright, so he's here. Alright. Now all we need to do is head back. You can also just teleport to shrines that you've accessed. If you didn't access that, then you're gonna have a hard time coming back. But it adds to the time of playing the game. Which is pretty fun, you know. Alright. Talk to Pura. After that, she will explain that the towers, or Joshua will explain that the towers have been replaced by their own construction. But it is still completely accessible. This time, you no longer have to climb them. And you can also use them as a fast travel point. She will also explain the...
Check it.
shops or services available in Lookout Landing. But the most important thing is that they will allow us to use the tower.
Uh-huh. Hey! Hey! Oh! Yeah! Ah. Aha. Hmm.
Alright, by talking to Pura as she explains the Skyview Tower and how to use it, she will also hand you the next important thing in your travels in Hyrule. The Paraglider. This item will help you maintain, you know, aerial traversing and, you know, being able to reach great heights. Well, not like, you know, in a variety of ways, and be able to get from one place to another, especially if you are in the Sky Islands. So now that you have that,
Huh. Yeah.
alright, so this is a great tip. After accessing the Skyview Tower, you will be in the air for quite a while, and this is where things get interesting. I did already showcase the tutorial in the Sky Island, but every time you access or unlock a map, you should always remember to basically scan your surroundings using the Pura pad. So right now, there you go. You are still going to be falling down as you look with your Pura pad, so you can see there's a glyph in there that's going to be important later on. And you can scan your surroundings like you are falling really slow. If you use your glider while scanning, you can also do that. So there you can see a couple of towers that you can pin. I already pinned a couple, so make sure you replace that or edit the pin so that you have more pins to use, or turn it into stamps. Like that one over there is not yet, I think, marked. So that's something that you can do as you're falling down. Just be aware that when you are falling down, like, or when you're scanning like this, you are still falling down. Like, you can die. You can still die. But it's not consuming any of your stamina. You can also hold R to accelerate, but like I mentioned, now you can see that the button is flashing X to glide, or basically your jump is to glide. When you're falling down, keep in mind that this is pretty important to maintain a great height in between, or land in the water. Like that. And then you can still dive again, but, you know, it's quite experimental. So you can keep doing that as much as possible to maintain your height, distance from the ground. And then later on, you'll have more fun things to do with the glider. Okay, so now that we've done that, we've unlocked the most essential thing in, you know, getting started in the world of Hyrule, or the land of Hyrule. Well, I don't know. My lore in this game is rough. Alright.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes.
Alright.
Uh-huh. Hmm. Ah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alright. So as you can see, Joshua ran away, and you saw that her chat bubble has a exclamation point. So she's somebody you can talk to for a side quest or additional ones. But most importantly, you found the most essential gear required for a more smoother exploration of the world. Now, she does mention that there are 4 areas that has original phenomena, and you can explore any of these in any order that you like, but I do recommend heading to Rito Village first and doing that one. Along the way, you will encounter Skyview Towers that is recommended to tackle. Each Skyview Tower will have a mini quest alongside unlocking them. They shouldn't be difficult, but you need to find a creative way of unlocking them, or just unlock them the most normal way possible as meant to be by the game. Now, as you unlock these areas and map, you will discover a plethora of things to do and explore, enemies to fight, so you have to be very careful. Now, that's gonna be it for the meantime. I will make adjustments to more in the next video, so I hope that helps. Leave a like and comment if you want to add more. Dislike if you don't feel like it's informative enough, and I can try and make my best to do so. But until then, I will see you on the next one.